I'm Bobby Asgar. COVID-19. Fact versus fiction. Is there a cure? Should you be afraid? Is the virus slowing? Can the government help? Will the government help? Is there anything you can do about it? A cure. COVID-19 is a brand new virus. We have no immunity to it. There is no cure, and there won't be one for the foreseeable future. SARS broke out in 2003, MERS in 2012. There still is no vaccine for either. Short of a miracle, it's highly doubtful there'll be a cure for COVID-19 for many years to come. Fear. The prospect of being stuck in the shadow of a global pandemic is a daunting one, to say the least. Yes, there is no cure, and yes, it is scary. COVID-19 is most definitely not good. But it's not a zombie apocalypse either. Fear and panic is only ever counterproductive. You need to be wary and cautious, not panicked. Many millions will no doubt become infected. If you don't know anyone that already has been, you soon will. But keep in mind, the mortality rate is very low. Many thousands have survived the virus. It may be of scant consolation, but the virus will be fatal only to a very small percentage of those infected. Rate of spread. To say the virus is slowing is not wholly accurate. COVID-19 won't just burn itself out. The virus itself isn't slowing. Populations being quarantined, cities being on lockdown, they're simply restricting the virus's spread. The government. So far as help is concerned, a prime obstacle is the distinct lack of knowledge and experience medical personnel and governmental offices have with COVID-19. COVID-19 is similar to SARS and MERS, but no two viruses are the same. Even if they were, there's no cure for SARS and MERS either. Governmental aid is limited not only by allocated funding and facilities, but by the base necessity for self-preservation. If the virus hits hard, chaos will undoubtedly ensue. It has already taken root. COVID-19 is yet young and economies throughout the world have already been destabilized. Fear of a global recession is a real threat. If it's realized, and it just might be, nations will literally have to rebuild and reform from the remnants of mass and widespread financial destruction. It will take money, and lots of it. There is no cure, and every government knows it. The simple fact is, squandering funds on measures which are comparable to putting a band-aid on a broken arm is simply not practical. And the cost of ensuring every single person has bioprotective clothing and a readily available supply of oxygen is just not economically viable. Self-isolation has been advised for a reason. It's cheap. Eventually, when push comes to shove, the UK and US governments will take some form of radical action, likely similar to those enacted by China during the second and third weeks of the initial outbreak. Regional lockdowns, quarantine, establishing makeshift medical centres when the outbreak becomes more widespread. Until then, it seems you're pretty much on your own. What can you do? Those who can afford it will be looked after in private hospitals or in their own private oxygen tents. As for the rest, who've effectively been told to self-isolate and wait it out, self-implemented preventative measures seem to be the only option. Face masks, antibacterial gels and fluids, and the latest global catchphrase, social distancing. The hope is, slowing the rate of COVID-19 spread will prevent hospitals and medical services from being utterly overwhelmed, that hospital beds will be available when needed. At least, that's the plan. I'm Bobby Asgar. For want of a cure, your greatest weapon is common sense. For more COVID-19 reports and updates, please like and subscribe, and please share these reports.